Hi there, welcome my dear students. In this lecture, I'm gonna teach you how you can change the background using the Photoshop. So this is what we are gonna do today. And if I come back here, let me show you the original pictures. This is the background that we are gonna use, and this is the image. We are gonna mask this image, and after that, we are gonna put that over here, and we will make that part of look like similar to this one, like this the girl is real walking on this in this forest. So let's go on and let's start. Let me close this one, and on the browser I'm gonna use these two pictures. So I will paste these links in the description so you can copy from there and you can utilize these images. One is from the freepik.com, and just click on the download button and you can download the image in the high resolution. And the second thing that you have to do, you have to come up here and you have to download this image as well from the unsplash.com. And one more thing, download this in the high resolution. Can you see original size 6000 multiplied by 4000? Always try to download the high resolution images so you can work on it, and you can make good your and you can make your projects good. Before moving on, this is my new channel. I would like you guys to support me if you like my videos. In that case, if you don't like my videos, don't support me. If you like my videos, you can support me. So hit the subscribe button and like my videos and do some comment as well. So okay, go on, let's start. I have this image that on which we have to start work. Okay, now let's start the Photoshop. And I have files here in my downloads, and what I'm gonna do, I will just simply right click on files and I will open up that in the Photoshop. Here you go. So now what I'm gonna do, I will quickly select the quick selection tool and make the selection of this image. And on your keyboard, if I show you something on your keyboard, you have to use the this key. Let me show you. From your keyboard you need to use these keys so you can increase and reduce the size of your brush, so of your selection tool, or if these are your brushes, you can by pressing these keys. If you are like if I click here right now, this is my brush size. If I do this, can you see my brush size is increasing? If I click on it multiple times, it's increasing. And if I press from my keyboard, it's doing that. Can you see? So by using that these keys, by using these scare brackets, you can increase or decrease your size of the brush or your selection tool. So I'm gonna quickly go on and I will do the selection. And before making the selection, what I can do, let me duplicate the layer. So what I'm gonna do, I will choose my quick selection tool, and before starting working with the quick selection tool, what I have to do, I will go into the select and I will say select the subject. And here you go, my subject has been selected. So from my keyboard, there is curly bracket. So by using that, I can increase or decrease the size of my quick selection tool. So I will come up here, I will zoom in, and right now my this is my brush size. If I do plus, sorry, the square bracket, if I'm using that, can you see I can increase or decrease my brush size? So what I will do, I will start removing the unnecessary objects from here first of all, and after that, let's start from the hand. Okay, the next thing that we are gonna do, we will click on select and mask this option, and after that we are gonna, in the view mode, we will come up here and we will select on black, this A option, and after that we are gonna say opacity needs to be 100%. Now we need to make this selection smooth, so we are gonna say this needs to be a little more higher, and we are gonna say 91. That's perfectly fine. And after that we are gonna say we are gonna increase our feather, that is going to be 4 point, let me remove that, 4 point, and that is going to be 1. And the next thing that we need to increase is our contrast, and let's increase our contrast. Now what we have to do, we need to shift these edges, so we will say edges is going to be a little lower. Okay, can you see it's looking much better, our image? And now what we need to do, we need to click on this output set. We are going to select this option, and this needs to be 100%, and we will click on OK. Now if I turn off that, can you see this is our background that we have selected? If I turn off this, can you see this is our selection? Now the next thing that we have to do is we need to open up our background image on which we are going to place this one. So I'm going to open up that in the Photoshop. What we are gonna do, we will drag this and we will move this to on our background. Oops, I'm sorry. I will select my selection tool and I will make this a little small. This is much high. Let me make this a little small so we can adjust this here. Into the center as well. So it's up to you completely wherever you want to put this your image. Next thing that you have to do, you need to duplicate this background layer object, and I'm gonna turn off this for now, or let me turn this back on. Now what you have to do, you need to go into the filters, and from here you need to choose the blur gallery, and from here, can you see this tilt shift? Click on here and you will see an option similar to this one. What you have to do, you need to move this to down like this. Let me increase it this little here. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do, the blur option, it's a little high. We need to reduce this, and we are gonna say this is going to be 11%. So it's up to you. Can you see the blurriness effect? Like when you are increasing that, this is gonna affect on this part. So we will make that a little higher, like around here, and after that we are gonna decrease this. So this is going to be, we are gonna say this needs to be 11. That is perfectly fine. And after that we will click on OK. This will take a few seconds. If I turn this off, can you see the difference between, there is a blurriness on the background, like there is a fog, something like that? Can you see? It's looking perfectly fine. Let me turn that back on. Okay, the next thing that we need to do, we are gonna create another layer, and after that we need to drop some shadows here. So what we are gonna see, what we are gonna do now, we are gonna pick our brush tool, and from here we need to increase our brush size. If it's small size, you need to increase that. We are gonna choose the 152, and after that I'm gonna use the first option from the brush tools, and I'm gonna draw a shadow here, this similar to this one. Okay, this is looking better. Let me do Control Z. Let me do that again. Okay, here. This is looking better. And the next thing that you need to do, you need to come up here and decrease the opacity, so that will look like this is the part of the a part of the background, like she's walking on this ground. So let me decrease this a little bit more. 40. That's looking perfectly fine. If I zoom out, okay, can you see it's looking like he's his foot, her foot on the background, on the ground. Okay, the next thing that we need to do is on top of this curve, we need to create another layer, and after that, what you have to do, go into the edit, and from here you can you see this fill option, and from here can you see the contents, and from here you are gonna say 50% gray, and this is going to be normal, and 100%, and after that you will click on OK. And the next thing that you are gonna do, you will right click on it, and you will say you will click on create clipping mask. Can you see like this? Now what you have to do, change the blending mode from normal to overlay. Here is the overlay. Now the next thing that we have to do, let's pick up the touch tool from here, this touch tool, and we are gonna paint this over the face, so this will look more brighter and more better. So right now it's 650. If you want to increase the brush size, you can increase that as well. So we are gonna say this needs to be 90. This is good. So you can also use the scale bracket to increase or decrease the size of your brush and of the touch tool. And after that, I'm gonna say this needs to be range, needs to be mid-tone, and exposure needs to be 50%. So once I start moving this around on the face, can you see this is looking more like uh, clean and nice. And the next thing, I'm gonna over on all of this part, so this will look more clean and nice. Can you see it's looking more better? And let me go here and let me move this onto this part as well. So we'll create the clipping mask so we can easily adjust the light on this. So can you see it's looking much more better and cleaner now? Here you go. So if I close this, can you see this is the current result, and this was before and the after. So this is looking much better now. And the next thing that we need to do is we need to adjust the opacity as well. So we are gonna reduce the opacity, and that is going to be 60%. That is much better. And if I turn off that, can you see there was much light before? Next thing that you have to do, make sure this layer is selected, and what you have to do, come into the adjustment layer, and from here click on solid colors. Oops, I'm sorry, not the solid colors. Click here again, and from here click on color lookup, and from here what you have to do into 3D let file, click on here, and from here what you have to do, you need to choose option like crisp warm dot look. We can pick up this one. Can you see this is similar to this one? This is giving up this result. Now the next thing that we need to do is to make this more beautiful. We are gonna come up here and we are gonna say we are gonna choose the blend mode to multiply. And also we need to reduce the opacity as well, and we are gonna say this is going to be 50%, or we are gonna reduce this a little bit more, 34%. Next thing that you have to do, come into the adjustment level again, and from here click on the gradient map, and can you see this is the gradient? Click on it and choose the basic gradient and click on OK. Now change the blending mode to multiply again, and here is the multiply, and we are gonna adjust the opacity again on here. So we are gonna say this needs to be 18%. Okay, the next thing that we need to do is create another layer, and from here I'm gonna pick up my brush tool, and I have choose my brush size is going to be 1900 pixels, and after that I'm gonna click here, and I will select my selection tool, and I will transform it by pressing Ctrl T, and I'm gonna increase the size of this. So this is looking good, and I'm gonna move this around here, and after that I'm gonna lower the opacity of this one. So can you see this is like the fog is coming from here, the lightning is coming from here. So that's it. So we are done with our video, and this is our image. We started from here, and let me open up that. So we started from here, and here is the our original the changed image, like that was the before and this is the after. So that's it. If you like my video, can you do some comment and like as well. So I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.